So share your screen, please.
Okay. Just doing some research. Oh, I cannot share.
Okay, now you can.
You. Okay. Hi everyone. Thanks for doing the tournament. Just checking out board 1 of K12. My friend Cartavia. Yeah. So White went out ahead, but crazy thing. So Cartavia played the King's Gambit. I was just looking at his games to see if he usually does the King's Gambit, or if he's just doing it to mess with me. Um, it looks like he does different things. But anyway, f6 is actually quite an interesting defense. Normally, I would never recommend doing this move because it weakens your king by opening that diagonal. But against the King's Gambit, it's actually interesting. And f takes e5 is, I believe, a mistake. So in the game, Black took back, which lost after this. But if Black plays knight c6, Black may actually be a little bit better here. So when I was analyzing this, I think the correct move is just to go knight f3. So just a kind of interesting thing to happen there. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Cartavia, obviously great player. So anyone who has to play him, it's going to be very, very tough. Okay. Let's check out board 2. All right. So always try to kind of guess the opening. I guess in English. Okay, yes. So c4 marks the English opening. Well, you could sort of call it a hyper modern opening because rather than put the center pawns in the center, you're aiming to attack the center more from the side and try to put pieces in the center. So yeah, so anyway, this is how the game developed. You know, Black is relying on a more classical scheme of development, pawn in the center, then develop your pieces. I mean, so we just have a game here. Yeah, and so already you kind of see, you know, White plops a knight in the center and supported by the pawn as well as the bishop. So it should be an interesting game. You know, one thing is that, you know, especially comparing this game to like the King's Gambit game, um, this game is a lot less tactical. Like the game is not going to be over in a few moves. Um, it's going to take a while for strategy to develop. And some players really like that. You know, they want a more slow positional game rather than the fireworks you see in the King's Gambit and other sharp openings. Okay. Let's see what happened here. All right, so again, e4, e5. Gonna well, these are the open systems, and they're gonna lead to more open games with more tactics and more hand-to-hand combat early on. So we see Italian game, Black does bishop c5. The other main option is, of course, knight f6, the two knights defense. That was always my sword and shield. I think that might already be a mistake. White took. Might even be able to do that here. Maybe this is better. I'm not sure the exact theory. Okay, but here it comes. Yeah, so if Black takes this guy, knight g5 recovers the piece right away, and Black cannot castle. So White's got a great position without even sacking any pieces. So I think Black's in some trouble here. Oh, Huron's playing. I forgot. All right, so Huron, one of my guys, has a big matchup. Let's see, his opponent played the Sicilian. Yeah, I just taught Kira on this, the Smith-Morra gambit. So black declines the gambit by pushing. Yeah, I think that's the most solid option for black. Black's not going to try to refute white's strategy and take the pawn. They're just going to aim for a solid position. Yeah, I mean, looks okay. Yeah, I think black has an advantage because their piece is a little more active than white's. But looks good. Okay, got it. All right, looks like white's on top. Yeah, it looks like a couple piece difference in those games. So let's see in our in our quieter game, did anything happen? Looks like it did. Oh, so all good, but then e4, fortunately, yeah, the bishop gets trapped. I mean, even if the bishop wasn't trapped, e4 doesn't really look that good to me. You might want to try to put a knight here instead. Or really, you should be just kind of developing on the queen side. Yeah. So interesting piece trap. All right, so that looks like the top players are, you know, making themselves known. All right. And this one, yeah, my friend GWG isn't here. So we have a lot of good players playing though. Let's see, yeah. Well, who's all right, let's just look at this one. Hmm. How did this develop? Huh. So we have a completely symmetrical position. Yeah, there's some funny classical games. Like there's this great game by Capablanca where his opponent copies him the entire game and he comes up with this nice win. We might look at that after this, but some of the symmetry gets broken. Yeah, Queen E2. It's like black could have maybe done this right away. Oh, but hey, I like this too. Just be really aggressive. Oh, yeah. I mean, why not go for this? And, just try to put more pressure on the pin knight. The bishop's not going anywhere. Um, but yeah, kind of like black's position. Oh, and then white kind of castles into it. Okay, so all right. I think what black should do instead of this, which weakens the queen side, I think black should have tried to castle over here and then just like pawn stormed white. Um, because this pawn is here, it can become a target. Like black could push this and then push this, take the pawn. I think that would have been interesting. Yeah, but b5 definitely benefits white because now it's going to be hard for the black king to find shelter. So if black goes for the attack, their own king could get weak. Oh, and this is definitely wrong because look, you got to look at the kings. Your king's still in the middle. The last thing you want to do is open up the files where your king is on. So this actually, yeah, this is going to be a big disaster. So yeah, tough lesson because it's one of those things where it's like, you're supposed to control the center. So shouldn't I play d5? But you also have to consider, this particular position. And what's more important than controlling the center with your two pawns is getting your king safe. So I think, black definitely had a good start, strong opening. But just made a mistake and yeah, it's their position. Maybe it looks okay, but it's hanging by a thread here. So we'll come back. We'll see what white decided to do. Several interesting possibilities here. This one also looks like white was able to jump out ahead. All right, knight f3. Also just like we were looking at with c4, a more hyper-modern opening. Instead of controlling the center with your 2 center pawns, you're going to try to control the center with pieces. So the hyper-modern style really came into being around the 1920s, 1930s by Nimzovich and Reti. Neither player became world champion, but they were definitely contenders. So I don't think they quite matched up to Capablanca and Aljolkin. Yeah, unfortunately, Nimzovich's My System really did not stack up well against Capablanca. I don't even know if he had 1 win. Now let's give him 1 win, but then he had, a handful of draws and a bunch of losses. So, all right, let's see what happened here. Okay, but then the center pawn comes out, so it's more like a D pawn opening. Okay. Yeah, black just makes an error, allows the fork. So you got to do something like, like rook c8. So I think, let's see. Actually, I think we can tell how much time they took. Oh, perfect. All right, so, black did take, a moment on this move. They didn't play it like instantly. But I think, just looking a little more at the position and trying to see, is there any way to defend this pawn? I think you would see that. Okay, but it's going to be a tough game. See anything else happening? Yeah, it looks like we have some big material. We got to look at this. Differences. Yeah. So some players are already up a bunch of pieces. They're just going to convert their material advantage. Now this one, of course, caught my eye because I haven't counted all the pawns yet, but it's around equal. And this guy's wide open. I thought maybe black had sacked a piece to get the position open, but it doesn't look like they even had to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and count. Black is all their pawns. White is all their pawns. So it is equal. White's king's more exposed, but black hasn't quite developed yet. Okay. So another Italian game. Okay, so that's how that happened. Huh. Yeah, it's an interesting struggle. Hmm. All right, he goes in for the check. Let's see what White's idea is. Yeah, I mean, now you gotta, well, let's see what White did. Yeah, I mean, black doesn't really have development, and it's not clear what the development is going to be exactly. There's no really future here, or no immediate future anyway. The rooks can't lift off to help out, and even like moving the pawns is hard to say. So all of black's choices come with certain, advantages as well as drawbacks. But it's white's turn. The immediate problem is what to do about the knight. So, I mean, I guess white's figured by now. I mean, the knight is trapped here. I had, thought this was part of white's plan to go into this, but maybe they just didn't see the knight was trapped. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so come back to this one too. Okay, so this was K6. Take a look at K3, and then we'll cycle back. Okay. Oh man. See, we got another one of my guys, McAllister, playing black, and then we have Kabir playing white. Kabir is like my student slayer. Seems to beat all of my students. But hey, he's a strong player, so what can I say? And he had a nice skewer here. Yeah. So skewer, you have a more important piece in front of a less important one. So white simply chases the queen away and then can take the piece behind it. So it looks like white's up a rook, probably will win this one. And he can add McAllister to another one of my students he has beaten. But McAllister's getting strong. Like I think I said this last time, only in first grade. Really she just started in the past year or so. So pretty excited about her. She's getting the experience. All right, and then I believe this is board 1, still going on. All right, so yeah, looks like looks like black should pull through for this one, up a couple pawns. They also have bishop versus knight. So generally the bishop's better when there's pawns on both sides of the board because the bishop's a lot faster, can run around to either the king side or the queen side. And the poor knight is going to be kind of just, moving around. See, he's kind of slow. So I'm just looking if any counterplay. Yeah, I think barring any big disaster, black should win. But looks like white put up a good struggle. Okay. Yeah, it looks like, okay. All right, let's see. Gotta check out my friend Sam. Huh? Oh. Let's see. This was board 2. They already finished. See if there was. Yeah, it's a tough position for black. All right, so it looks like white used their tactics to get ahead there. Good game. All right, so we'll keep an eye. Board 1 that game in that section, but I think it's pretty clear. All right. Well, looks like Iran's hanging in there, right? Unless, yeah, this is. Sometimes I get it like a lag or something. All right, so looks like black's up the exchange. Any pawn differences? No. Just want to see how that happened. Ah, okay. I think here I was thinking maybe. Oh, I guess yeah. If takes, I guess bishop takes. Not sure if white missed this move or maybe didn't know how to counter it. Yeah, maybe this is just better. Though it's kind of interesting anyway because that bishop was instrumental in protecting the black king. Well, not instrumental, but it's important. So it's not the biggest problem in the world. Though definitely black's better. Oh, okay. So the game really hasn't progressed much. All right. Good to see white hanging in there. I'm scared to go to this one. Maybe it's not as bad as I think. Man, pawn endings. It's like a whole different world. It's like all the normal rules of chess just get thrown out the window, and I don't even know how you calculate some of these end games. But this one looks pretty clear. Yeah, it looks like white should be fine. Oh, it is even material. It's kind of interesting. But really, it's the difference between well, two things really, right? The difference between the kings, white's king is much better. And then white also has this pass pawn. It could even become a protected pass pawn. So man, I feel like once we start going back, who knows what's gonna happen. Did black have any shot in this game? And this looks like a tough position. Yeah, pawn ending, I don't think holds much hope. The rook ending was probably okay for black, actually. Maybe just go here and come around. Because white's pawns are also somewhat weak. In the sense, white has 3 pawn islands, black only has 2. Oops, need to go back to that. Oh yeah, actually the rook exchange is kind of sad because you give white that nice pawn there. So I don't know. I don't know if the pawn ending was salvageable. Yeah. So, but interesting game. Good game. Ooh. Black's up a piece, but white has a lot of threats. Ooh, this could get a little scary.
Looks like we have 1 game remaining in K3.
Okay. Yeah, very sharp position here. See what white goes for. I don't know. I was thinking about this decision to take the pawn. I don't know. I'd really have to look at it further. I mean, just one thing it does give white the pass pawn. So you have the weak king for black, and now white has a pass pawn. But black has the extra piece and can start making threats against the white king too. Time-wise, yeah, time-wise looks okay. Black's down on time, obviously, but it's not a huge difference at this point. Should be okay. It's gonna take. What was our other game? All right, there was this one. Oh, and then Kiran's game. Yeah. Actually, Kiran's game's pretty interesting. But yeah, I think this is definitely a critical game. So this K12, yeah. Yeah, rook C2 to start attacking the white king. That definitely makes sense.
We got a request for you to look at a game.
Oh, okay, which one?
Anton Karachunsky.
Yeah, I was taking a quick look at that. I mean, oh, white got the piece back, or did black sack the piece? Oh, okay. I thought black was just rolling here, but okay. Well, this did get pretty interesting. Black, what the heck? Huh. So yeah, Anton did a good job getting these pawns. So if he can survive the attack, he'll have good chances. Yeah, I don't think black should have sacked the knight. Or not that not that it's not good, but it seems unnecessarily complicated. Unless maybe they calculated a win. I don't know. Yeah, like I'm not saying the sack is wrong. Maybe it still wins. Just seems a little hard to me. Right? Especially when you're playing a tournament game, it's not just about finding the absolute best move. Often that's just impossible, especially with the time you have. Just try to find a good enough move that's still going to win you the game. I think that's kind of the lesson here. Especially I'm looking, black's a little low on time. Though I do have to say, yeah, they do have a strong attack. Let's see. All right, rook d5 prevents the threat, of course, of this, and then mate here. Oops. Let's dig it in. Yeah, so we have actually 3 sharp games. Sharp in the sense everything's very concrete. You just calculate short variations with some tactics. And really one mistake can lose you the game. Can white deal with the threats? Okay, we see white thinking here. Come back to this in a sec. Okay. Just want to see what happened. Yeah, I thought maybe this would have been interesting, but okay, anyway. Oh yeah, this got okay. Yeah, another sharp position. Really, I guess I don't know I guess you could define sharp by just like the position is changing every moment. Like one mistake could end up losing the game. You really have to calculate sort of maybe just sharp position is where there's just a lot of tactical ideas in the air. Let's just put it that way. And you can contrast that with like some of the games we saw earlier where it's about just like maneuvering your pieces. Like remember that game with C4 and then G3. There's not a lot of combat. Oh man, we gotta definitely look at some of this stuff. Trying to remember the games in case. Okay, he found it. Yeah, I was literally just as I said. One mistake can change the game. Black plays Rookie 3. Very understandable. Threatening the queen and threatening, well, checkmate. But your own king, unfortunately, gets checkmated first. So good comeback by white. So let's ask the question, was black correct in sacrificing? Did it work? So he has check to come back. Maybe black missed the check and then rook here to block. Yeah, he couldn't have gone up. Could even king f8, queen e4. Oh, wait a sec. Well, I guess, I mean, sort of my point, right? Like, even if there is a win, it's clearly not easy. Oh, he can't even check. Queen is there. Only move. Oh, maybe could he have just taken it? Can I make moves on this? Oh, I can. Okay. Just for clarity, yeah. So this rook e4. If g4. Actually, yeah, g4, queen f4, threatening rook e3 looks pretty dangerous. But then I don't know if you probably can't. Oh yeah, that just leads to mate one. So you got to go for g4. Oh well, there's that. All right, so the sack I guess was correct. Just takes queen f5 at the very least forks king rook. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like though my point is still valid. You know, why go for complications when you had easier win? Like even this position, maybe check again if you want, or just bring the knight here. I don't know. Or where was he before? I mean, it's such an overwhelming position. Actually, maybe queen g4 wins, just going here. Yeah, tough lesson for black. Now this game, a lot of lessons in this one. Though it does look like the sack did work, but you had to have foreseen this. And then, yeah, rook takes would just win. No, very good game, guys. Oh, what happened to the other one? Looks like, yeah, looks like black came out on top. Oh, right. Actually, black had a forced. Yeah, rook h1 wins. I think queen h3 is a little prettier. Actually, I wasn't even thinking about rook h1. I was just looking at this. Yeah, no, king g1. No. You gotta play really fast in this position. Don't give your opponent any time. Yeah, I mean, so this already looks pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, what about here? That's what my idea was. Actually, this might just like, well, they gotta do that. Oh, it's not even that complicated. Yeah, I think white just wins by force. So, when you're going over this game with like a coach or, even the computer, I mean, well, I assume this is the strong move. I guess the kind of question is you want to ask yourself is, well, why did I do that instead of the winning move? Even if it's not this, whatever the winning move is. Let's just assume it's this. I mean, one thing maybe I'd have to ask, the player is maybe they thought they had this. They forgot the bishop's guarding that square. Maybe they thought they could target this. I mean, the queen's, of course, there right now, but they thought this would be a strong place to pressure. But I think the most important factor here was the weak 7th rank. And if white had focused on that, you'd find this move and you'd find the win. All right. Then we have, I think Iran still hanging in there. Let's see. So he lost some pawns around the way. Yeah, I thought, let's see. Yeah, this was good to kind of weaken the dark squares. Maybe try to jump in here. I don't know. It's hard to say what to do. So yeah, a4. Just probably didn't know what to do. Yeah, no, I have to ask him what he was thinking there, but no. Yeah, and now black kind of takes over. See, that knight on e6 is really strong. Yeah. Well, the battle's still going. Check back in with these guys. Oh, I guess they started the second round. Okay. Well, don't often see this, 2 rooks behind 2 pawns. But it's actually more common than you think. Black's trying to push these guys aimed at the king. Now the problem is black's or white's king doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. Its 3 pawns are still there, standing tall in front of the king. So this is a very slow plan. I think white's gonna have to act fast. They want to have a chance here. All right, there we see the pawns start to go forward. It's just kind of a funny visual, the pawns behind, or the rooks behind the pawns. So Nimzovich, we were talking about him earlier. We were talking about hyper modern hyper modern style in the 1920s. Nimzovich was a big, or I think he made up the concept of the mysterious rook move, where you move a rook directly behind a pawn. So literally what we had just a few moments ago. Well, let's see, when exactly did black play rook there? Okay, so this could be considered a mysterious rook move, where it's like, why in the world would you want to put your rook there? It blocks in your other rook and it has no scope over here. But the idea is to push the pawn in front of the rook. And the idea is the rook's going to be useful, supporting this particular pawn. Yeah, so knight b5, I definitely thought that had to come in sooner rather than later. Good move. Oh, white's playing very forcefully. And so that's kind of the problem with black's strategy. It's so slow. And, you know, if these pawns were even, if black even had one extra move, he could finally target the king, but just kind of slow. Yeah. You know, even if white didn't have that pin, yeah. Yeah, bishop takes c2, not the right idea. You don't want to open files where your king is on. I think we saw that in an earlier game as well. And also, like, this isn't really relevant to your plan. Like, this is the type of position where whoever gets the king first is going to win. I mean, I guess that's true in every game, but you see what I mean? When the strategy is to go for an attack on the king, whoever gets the king first is going to win. So don't be over here grabbing pawns unless it helps your defense. Instead, you have to be focused on your attack. Maybe just go here, something like that. Yikes. I think, yeah, black's, all right. Gonna have to kind of bail here. Let's see. This one. Hmm. Oh, we have a bit of an upset, I believe. Fried liver. Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, this has been known to be a mistake for a long, long time because of this move, the fried liver attack. White sacks the knight in order to fork the king and the knight. So black's best move is to go here, but it's not a good position for black. And king g8 immediately loses like this. Yeah, tough game, but it's a good lesson. So instead, well, all right. So if you're going to play the two knights defense, it's a very good defense, very tough defense. Always played it. But you do have to know what to do. So d5 is good. And then, well, there are a few options, but the most solid is just knight to a5, getting your knight out of danger and attacking the bishop. Otherwise, you can really get hurt. Okay. All right, so these guys are ending the second round. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, this one. So we have the two pieces versus the rook. All right, so a couple remarks there. So generally, two pieces are better than a rook, even better than a rook and a pawn, usually. But again, you always have to pay attention to the particulars of each position, evaluate each position separately as its own thing. And here, black has a lot of threats because of the bad position of the white king. So even though the two pieces are usually better, I I definitely take black here because of white's weak king. So what? Wait, what? Oh, white was up a piece. I'm like, huh? Oh yeah, knight takes queen may not have been the best move. And remember, no decisions in chess should be automatic. You know, even if you're just recapturing something and you have an option of what to recapture with, look at each move. You know, don't just make the capture automatically. Let's see what happened. Kiran's game. All right, it's a good trick. So if black takes the knight, you get mate. And then, yeah, this fork wins the bishop. So anyway, yeah, interesting game. Very, uh, yeah, very hard fought game. So I noticed that somebody already put this through the computer. So here are my feelings on that. You know, I am pro computer. I think computer is an amazing tool to help you analyze your games. Well, remember, it's just a tool. It's not the answer itself. I can't help you understand why something's the best move in a lot of cases. And then the other thing about it is it doesn't give you any indication of how easy or hard it is to find the correct move. So often when you're, you know, like, oh, I wonder if I did the right thing here, in the computer either confirms or deny or shows you a better move, it's easy to be like, oh yeah, duh, I should have seen that. But I mean, you really don't know unless you looked at it for yourself first. So, you know, I was sort of trying to make that point um, with Anton's game earlier about his opponent sacked the knight, and it did end up, well, it should have been a winning sacrifice, but it was hard to find. So if I put it in the computer, it'd be easy for me to be like, you know, oh yeah, like this is an easy win for black. You know, how could I miss that? So simple. But you saw that, I had to struggle a little bit to find the correct line. So I feel like that's also an important lesson that's part of the game. You know, how easy or how hard are these moves to find? And the fact that it was kind of tricky to find shows that the sacrifice probably wasn't the best decision, even though it was maybe the best move. You know, one thing that always drives me crazy, maybe um, you guys as kids can kind of relate to this, is let's say you play a tough game, you show it, to your coach, maybe your parent or somebody else is there putting the game in the computer, and your parent or whoever is just like, oh, how did you miss that move? Like the computer says this is winning. And it's like, I mean, first of all, your parent probably doesn't understand, anything that's going on. And second of all, it has, the computer, you can't tell if it was an easy move to find or a hard move to find. I mean, you just don't know. But for the computer, it's very easy. It's a machine, but you don't know how easy it would be for a person to find. So anyway, I guess the lesson is try to resist the urge to just, plug your game into the computer right away. Especially online, it's hard because you can just click a button and it's already like in the computer. It'll just analyze it for you. So try to analyze it with yourself first, and then you can use the computer. Or even better, ask a strong player or friend to analyze the game with you first if you want another set of eyes, and then check it with the computer. I mean, at least I think, a good coach is not going to sit there with the computer open looking at your games. They're going to look at it with their eyes first and try to see, could we find the correct move? And if we can't find it, I mean, what's the point of having the computer find it? Like, if you're not going to find it in a real game or even after analyzing it. All right. Okay. Oh, did Kartavi do that same line? Yeah, is that weird? Like, okay, so I'm not an expert in D4 openings, so I'm kind of going off, Alana, what you were saying. It's like a mix between a Benoni and then a Benko gambit. Okay, so the Benoni is this, right? And then the Benko is this gambit.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But he like combines the two openings. No, maybe that's a thing. And like we just don't know. So black sacks a pawn, but they get beautiful center control, active pieces. Definitely think it's worth it for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and look at this. Just funny to see him do it again. Yeah, if you guys want to prepare against Kartavia, definitely check out this variation because he's played it a couple times. Oh, it looks like he beat White last time. Oh, I think it's the same variation, I assume. All right, so hopefully White went back, studied the game, and came up with a different plan. Now, this was a really, really great game they played last week. Well, I guess it was just a few days ago. All right, so White's going to be thinking there for a while. Ugh.
So it looks like K3 has 2 games left.
All right, let's go there.
Sounds like they're playing pretty fast.
Oh, this is their third round that they're finishing?
Second round.
Oh, so yeah, I was like, yeah, I mean, it looks like we know who's gonna win. I think. Well, actually, all right. Let's go to K6. They're also kind of finishing.
So, fun fact, I was looking at Roy Cito's games, and both of his games finished with king versus king.
No, he fights to the end.
Very cool.
Pretty cool, yeah. Man, I'm trying to figure out what to watch here. Maybe this one? Can't even count how many pawns are here. Sheesh. Yeah, some games somebody's up a piece or something, but the others are really close. Got a rook's knight ending. So if this was a middle game, black would be much better because they control the middle. There you have it. The middle game, they control the middle. But in an end game, it's more about who can get a pass pawn. And you kind of see white is the potential over here for the pass pawn. If black wants the pass pawn, they're going to have to rush up the middle. And they're not really prepared for that right now. They'd have to give up that central advantage. So actually, yeah, this is, I mean, okay. I was going to say black's probably trying to decide what to do with their king, keep him in the middle or castle him. But then we get this, so. I don't know. Remember, guys, the end game is like a brand new game. Pretend it's move one all over again. You got to come with a new strategy, new ideas, and keep taking your time. Yeah, that's what I thought. Rook e2 defends everything. Not sure what's going on. All right, there goes the king. I'm not sure what the best decision is. I mean, even though it's an endgame, the king can still become a target out in the open. Though castling also wasn't very attractive, because then you're like tucking the king here, and it's going to be far from the action if pieces get traded. So often you want your king like to be an active piece in the endgame, but here where there are still some pieces left, it's a balance between you want it to be active, but not too active. So like white's king is perfect. It's still pretty safe, but it's ready to jump into the middle if it has to. I don't know. I think white is a nice advantage here, and it could become critical. Looking at, okay, so time is equal, so that's not a factor yet. One thing I always try to keep an eye on with my students is their end game ability, because I feel like when you watch how they play end games, you can tell first of all who really wants to win, who's still fighting and thinking hard. So that kind of speaks to their fighting spirit. And then the second thing, of course, is you look at their end game technique. Do they know how to play end games? Do they know the typical positions? Do they know the typical strategies? Because like I was saying earlier, end games are really weird. A lot of the stuff you learn may not apply. Starting with the king, we all learn you want to castle the king, keep him tucked away, but not so in an end game. Yeah, I mean, looks like white just had just attacked the pawn. So black has to defend this guy. I mean, it really hurts to see the rook sitting behind the pawn, but you gotta defend it somehow. All right, we'll come back maybe when the time's a little lower, and we'll get to see them have to make moves under pressure while we get to sit at home. Oh, I was just here. Oh, this game, white battled it out. But yeah, I thought black was going to end up on top. Okay.
So in that game, they're actually siblings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what happened to your? Oh, there's your screen. Okay.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, white had a nice tactic. Just clear the space, promote. Yeah, tough game, tough game. All right, let's see if white found a better solution. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's painful. Man, Octavia's strong. And White's doing their best. Okay, what happened? Yeah, I guess D4 was just wrong. Maybe he was, sorry, E4 was wrong. Maybe he thought Kartavi was going to go D4 and like shut things down, which actually also looks pretty good. But he's just like, okay, I'll just open the center. I mean, that's where your king is. Oh. Yeah. Oh. So maybe instead of E4, I mean, I'm pretty sure E4 is not a good move. I mean, yeah, I guess he's trying to stop the march of the pawns, but I can't really believe in that move. Maybe just bishop G2. All right, see what Black's gonna cook up in this situation. Yeah, if we compare, for example, this was the game they played. Was it just a few days ago? Kind of see some similar problems. The unstoppable bishop, that assassin over here. Then you had the knight at close quarters. You got the rook. It was just really brutal.
So that game in the K3 section ended up in a stalemate.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's go there real quick. Oh, there is some pain. Man, the new year just started and already. Yeah, some really, really tough lessons. So that game, where are the players? Sophia Unicorn. Yeah, no, stalemate. You gotta be vigilant. Well, I guess White was out of pieces here. Yeah, I mean, there's a few things you can do if you're worried about stalemate. Let's read what this. Oh, they're twins. Try to leave your opponent at least like one or two pieces, just so they always have a piece they can move, and you won't have to worry about stalemate. In this situation, White had already lost all their pieces. Another strategy is just if you're like worried about it, just like put your opponent in check. That way, there's no chance of a stalemate. Either they get out of check or it's checkmate. Another thing is not to get like 6 queens. That increases your chance of stalemate. So I think what was kind of tough here is that, it's not like Black took all of White's pawns and was kind of careless. Like White just already didn't have any pieces. And Black didn't even get a queen. It was just stalemate with like pieces you might not expect. So it's just kind of tricky. Yeah, I mean, I think just like G3 something anyway. Yeah. Tough game. Yeah, let's take a look. K6. Check back in with our rook ending here. So what did? Yeah, rook b4. Not a. I mean, I like just keeping Black's rook passive. Yeah, I mean now Black just gains a move. Maybe Black can be okay. White tries to stop the trade of knights, and Black wisely trades. Yeah, Black should. Oh, wait. No, I think the king's going the wrong direction. Maybe just go, if you're worried about the 7th rank, maybe rook c7 or even rook a7. Oh, wait, now. All right, kings are moving in the wrong direction. They're both trying to get out of there. So here, now that the knights are traded, I think it is okay for the kings to march to the middle. I mean, yeah, before, the knights could create some trouble, but no. So this will be a good one to watch. But I think, guys, you want to get your kings towards the center. They're just kind of funny. They both moved them away. No, this one, let's see. No, this one. No, looks like black's about to win over here. All right, let's see. Oh, this was a draw? Lon, do you know what happened? Why was this a what?
Did they repeat moves? Yeah, they must have repeated moves.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's very confusing. Why? Sort of in confusion why white wouldn't take the pawn. I mean, I guess they were really
Were they worried
scared
about the
of
king?
that and that, but I mean, white. I mean, yeah, white. Come on, like you can always just push the pawn. It's safe, and if black tries to come over here, you're just gonna get a queen. Oh, I thought this was just open and shut case. No, tough game. I mean, this is kind of why you don't resign, right? Maybe your opponent just doesn't know how to win, or they're so blinded by their own worries that they don't realize it's a very easy win. Yeah, it's in K-12. Okay, yeah. All right. Another good lesson there. So white, you gotta realize you're crushing here. There's a lot of ways to win. Probably just take this guy, then your black can't stop both your passed pawns. No, but it's okay. I mean, just take the lesson and learn from it. It looks like they won the next game, so that's good. We got some more mysterious rook moves. Oh man. This is hilarious. We've had now two positions with rooks like in the corner behind pawns. And in both cases they make a lot of sense. You know, white's I guess gonna well, she had to protect this pawn and then maybe she's gonna try to push it later. So it's kind of funny. What about that? There was some other game. Forget it now. All right. White's holding on. Yeah, White's gonna have to study this variation. It's just been so crushing.
I'm gonna have to study this variation and play for myself.
Yeah, right? We're gonna get some new adherence to this. All right, well, I don't know. I don't know if you can stop these guys. Man, there's that game earlier. I can't.
So there's one game left in K6.
Oh, the rooking game. The kings. Okay, the king. Black's king is starting to make it back towards the middle. All right. Ah, pawn ending. So I think I had said this earlier. The pawn ending is probably favorable for white because of their passed pawn potential. But now that the pawn structure is ruined, um, black probably has the better chances. So what should I? Yeah. Well, I guess at this point you're gonna have to trade them. Well, actually no, they could have taken maybe with this guy. It looks pretty annoying too. Yeah, maybe just go rookie two is better, but all right. Wow, pawn endings under pressure. That's like my worst nightmare. Kind of actually reminds me of the Rubinstein endgame. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just Google Collie Rubinstein ending. I think it'll bring you to exactly what I'm thinking of. Okay. So now black is 4-on-3 over here, but white is the passed pawn. So probably, yeah, this trade probably favored white. Yeah, I think d4 could be a mistake, but let's see. Too early to tell just by like glancing at it for 2 seconds. Yeah, good to see black go for the win. Not oh, white offered another draw, black declined. Yeah, even if you lose, I mean, just go for the win. Okay, so my impression, black is better. White might be able to hold a draw or even win if black makes a mistake, though. So. Plus, the time could also play a factor. Not a lot of time. Ugh.
What? They're like having a conversation.
Yeah, Lon, if you're ever concerned about like the spectator, like if they're giving away moves or whatever, I can always like cover it with like annotations. Do you
Or you
want
can,
me to?
or you can
does it
click
matter?
on where it says notes.
Oh yeah, it's just a lot easier. I'll just do that. It looks like they're just talking about a different game, but just in case. All right. Yeah, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give anything away really. Just kind of my general impression. Again, is black is better. But I still think any result is possible, given uh given everything I've seen. Seen a lot of good stuff, but man, some ugly stuff too, including from my own games. Sure, there's a pawn ending I had maybe a couple weeks ago, so if you guys want to check that out and criticize my play there. So we may talk briefly about the game after it's finished, point out some points, see how it goes. Oh yes. Hmm. Okay, I think we can say black's gonna end up on top. Yes. I wonder where these guys, well, where they're getting their percentages from. Well, 100%, maybe I can understand that one. That was said just a couple seconds ago, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, like earlier, it was like someone said 70% win. There we go. Maybe they were just their best estimate, I guess. Just kind of funny.
It's a stalemate.
What? Oh. Oh. Oh man, White, that is like epic. White's a beast.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm assuming they didn't catch. It was just kind of like an accident. They realized this would be stalemate. Oh, that's just like dirty. Oh man. Wow. 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 I have to catch my breath on this one. Man, a lot could be said. You know, out of respect for black, like, look, I mean, that's just really tough. We'll come back. I'll bookmark this because I don't know. I gotta just wrap my head around that. All right, so these guys
So
are all
that's why
blue.
we say never give up.
Yeah.
Play to the end.
Oh yes, White resigned. Did he end up? He did end up taking the rook, but yeah, it didn't really matter. Mm-hmm. It looks like Kieran Rosie still battling it out. Yeah, we all needed a break after that game. We will go back to it. Had a couple things I wanted to point out, but that was just so crushing for black. Yeah, so white was up here. I think were they even up a piece earlier? Maybe I don't know. But black's made things interesting by getting white's king to h4 out in the open. See Kieran in some time pressure here. Yeah, it's a faster game than the game like 30s or 40s, so hard to get used to. I think Kieran's gotten better under time pressure, but I know it's hard for him. This is an interesting one. Check out the K3 real quick. Yeah, I was pretty excited for this matchup. Sam and Eric. Oh, and this one too.
We got a request for a game in K6.
Okay.
From Evren.
Okay. What'd you say? K6?
Yeah, for Evren.
A game he already played?
Yes.
I assume this one?
The second game, yes.
How did this? Oh, he didn't. Okay. Okay. So he was black. He was able to win. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, looks like the extra piece should be pretty simple. So let's see what happened before. Yeah, I mean, looks like black played well, and white just like moved their piece into danger. All right, so let's take it real quick from the top. Oh yeah, this trap. Oh, it didn't work. Yeah, so the trap is if white goes here, knight c3 wins the queen. Yeah, it's a trap that was really popular a few years ago. A lot of the players I knew played it. They're like kid players. Haven't seen it recently, but I guess it's still alive and well. So now he's got like an even position. Yeah, this looks fine. I mean, if the queens were still on the board, you wouldn't want to do this because it opens up your king and there's a chance for an attack. But with queens off the board, it's more just like it gains space and pushes white back. So I think it's fine. Yeah, maybe this is not really so good because you kind of let the rook invade. I think I would have preferred maybe rook e8. But rook c8, everything's pretty under control. I think maybe this would be better. And then we see white blunders here. So yeah, solid game by black. Really the only thing I would say is, yeah, don't let white get the rook down here. Just this was back here. Instead of a6, maybe just challenge them. Okay. Oh no. We're not ready yet for this game, for the end game. This case. What was I looking at? Oh yeah, I mean these games are going to be tough. So all right, let's go back to Kieran and Rosie's games. That was pretty interesting. Actually, all the games are pretty close. Um, yeah, I don't even know. I mean, oh, man. We have actually everyone's in time pressure, so maybe the player with more time probably has the best chances to win. Let's see. Okay, let's go to this one. Somebody made a comeback here because I thought was white just like winning? No, maybe not. Okay, so white's of course better. The advanced pass pawn. The bishop is dominating the knight. And white's up on time. G5 could be a problem. What did white just do? Yeah, I don't like queen e3. Why not? Maybe keep the queen centralized, something like that. G5 could be a problem. Let's see. Certainly very forcing. Oh, I thought white had a win here. No, okay. Jerome found a good move. Oh, okay, maybe not. Actually, yeah. Can't white maybe just go here? So I think in a couple games we've seen some weak ranks. Often we focus a lot on files. Files are the squares that go up and down because those are a little more accessible. But pay attention to the ranks. In an earlier game, there was a weak 7th rank over here. And this one's about the weak 8th rank. I think white just goes here. You have like a bunch of. This is not mate. It was mate. Actually, this could be a problem. Oh, shoot. Oh, no, it's cool because you can go queen a8, c2, queen f8 check, king king f6. I was thinking king e6. Wait, what am I talking about? Never. Yeah, that doesn't work. Yeah, I guess what white did was okay. Yeah, that pawn. It's too bad. So white should win this one, barring any big problems. Then this was the other one. Okay. White was able to take the queens off. Definitely helps white to, so now their king is not in such a terrible position. Black might still be better because of the passer. Let's see. I don't know. This one's close. I feel like Kieran's game is the clearest one where I can say white has a probably almost winning position. The others are just like really tough, to be honest. All right, this one, let's just sit here. Like both sides have passed pawns. Black's is blockaded for the moment, and the problem is the bishop can't challenge the knight. All right, he sacks right away. I don't know if he had to sack immediately, but all right. We might just kind of end up in pawn territory again. Not the pawns. Not the king and pawns. You know, anything can happen there. I mean, it's not easy. Yeah, that looked like a good move. I guess. I don't know anymore. Yeah, this might give white some hope. Considering white has less than a minute as well, this is like really impressive. All right, we'll take the plunge. We'll go over a couple things in this endgame, a couple nuances here and there, and then we'll go to the killer pawn ending. that I don't think any of us will survive with our sanity intact. Oh, actually, yeah, this should be fine for white. Yeah. Well, actually, an easier way to draw earlier. But overall, really, really impressive, And I think Black had a win earlier as well. So, okay, so this, I mean, barring something insane, this should be, well, you never know what can happen. Should say that, but anyway. So notice though, Black had all this time. It would have been better for them to take some of that time earlier on. I'm just thinking about something early. Taking some of that time earlier to find the winning move. I mean, Black was taking their time. I mean, it's hard. I mean, sometimes you take your time and you don't find the best move. I mean, it happens. But yeah. Okay. No, that was impressive. White has nerves of steel. Something's bothering me. Let's see. Actually, in this position, it. No, it should be fun. White can always just kind of go back and forth. Yeah, so the knight keeps an eye here, and the king blocks the pawn. I was thinking it could be some kind of zugzwang situation, but no, I guess the tactics always work. You can just take, always just fork. So yeah, white should be totally fine. Oh, by the way, just kind of something. I think it was, yeah, I think this forces the draw immediately. As long as you know your pawn endings, this is a very easy draw. Just a couple moves. All right, keep your king in front of the pawn. Step right back. As soon as the king comes forward, block the king. Opposition, easy draw. But though actually, like we saw, this is actually pretty simple too. All right, so I wanted to point that out, and then things were getting, yeah, why not just I think that just like, well, I don't know. That seemed a little simpler to me. Yeah, I mean, there's no hope here, right? All right, so this looks pretty hard. Maybe a better chance for black anyway. It would have, so knight b1 shouldn't really have worked. It would have been nice if, kind of pretty if they gone here and then here. I think white loses. The knight can't keep an eye on both the square. Oh, now I'm getting worried again. I don't even know. This is a win, right? Yeah. Wow. Whose turn is it? Black? Why I'll do this. Jeez. Even this is gonna be close. Oh, isn't this, you have to triangulate here? Yeah. Is that even? No, no, I'm not trying to do. Hell. Huh, maybe this is a draw. How can that be? So what was my point even? Oh, I thought this was a win for black, but maybe after this they can draw. So of course this and this is a win for black. I mean, you could also go for this pawn, but or even, I mean, does that work? No, it doesn't. Actually, this might also work because if king c2, knight takes. No, and then king c1. Dang. Never mind. So okay, so
So there's a really interesting game on board 1 in K3.
mhm.
If you want to take a look at that eventually.
Wow, maybe it's a draw. Well, that would be insane. All right, you said K3? Man, it's
Yeah, it's
moments
the
like
last game.
that. I'm like just moving pieces around. Like I feel like I really need to get better. Oh yeah, it's a good one. See Sam again in some time pressure. Yeah, that could really turn out to be a liability. So it's yeah, 2 pawns for the knight. Sam's always proven very resilient, able to find solutions out of some difficult positions. Opposite colored bishops as well. So that favors the side that's attacking, which in this case is black. Black's making some threats. But if white can neutralize those threats, should be okay. But it'll be hard in any case because the 2 pawns against the piece is still better, but in an end game, it's not as much of a problem for black. I think black has good chances, particularly with the time issue. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a great one. Yeah, I think black should have tried to stop g4, maybe by playing instead of rook e2. I have to think about that one. Maybe just playing like h5, h5. Yeah, so again, we kind of see Sam's able to, kind of wiggle out of this. I've also been really impressed with Eric, but I notice, he does just play really fast. I think it's gonna, against really strong players, it's not gonna work. The tricks and the playing quick, it's not quite gonna work. So we'll see. I feel like a weaker player could get flustered, especially by being low on time. But you're playing, really strong player, and they're not going to fall for the tricks. They're going to play strong moves. At least the black or the white king has some room to breathe. I think if black had gotten an h5, that would have really, put some pressure on these light squares and helped in boxing the king in. So as it is, because like Now this diagonal is just not so useful for black. I mean, I guess it was hard to get there regardless, but just as another attacking avenue, it could have been useful. So I guess actually they could have maybe come around this way as well. Yeah, so we see white trying to put their pawns on the same color as the other person's bishop. This might seem weird at first because then the bishop can attack the pawns, but in fact, more often than not, it ends up restricting where the bishop can go. So now we also see white gets a little extra room here. So yeah, black has to be careful to not suddenly just drift into like a bad position. But still, very good chances for either side. Yeah, I can't really say who I'd like prefer. I mean, given the time, I guess I definitely prefer to be black here. Okay, can black pull off the upset? Looks like these players have actually not played, at least on Lichess. I think they did play at our another tournament, and I think Sam won that one. Man, I'm still thinking about that endgame from last time. Got my copy, Dvoretsky's endgame book, so I'm gonna just look it up after this game. Okay. Yeah, of course, Eric's going to keep the rooks on, try to keep the position as complicated as possible. I mean, if things get simplified, white has probably at least a draw. But if things stay complicated, there's room for error. As we have seen over and over and over again. And also, you know, in the games of grandmasters as well. It doesn't just apply to, you know, regular people. Wow, and so see what else? H5. It wasn't just for like defense. Now white's going on the offense. That's the thing. You play strong players and they're gonna have moves like this that combine offense and defense. You see it all the time. Okay, so look, Eric's got a lot of time here. It's a very important moment. I would spend some time. Let's see what he does. Okay, that's a good move. Get that bishop more active. White has a lot of threats, but they're not decisive yet. All right, what went for this? Okay. Oh, I guess I see what. Yeah, rookie 7. Okay. Thought maybe also just knight takes G7. Though I guess this is pretty simple too. Definitely makes a lot of problems for black. Wow, and it's just amazing what a difference H5 made. It made this whole thing possible. Man, I just really can't get over how many times that happens. I feel like at first G4 and H5 was defensive, and then it becomes actually aggressive. Yeah, I think maybe he just missed it, or he was trying to simplify things. Probably missed it. Yeah, it should just be simple draw unless they try to go for more. All right, so this should be a draw. So really, really tough game by both players. Um, I guess just made a mistake there by dropping the knight. Going there. Yeah, I mean maybe just move this guy somewhere. So I also thought, maybe just this is pretty simple too, and then you can like come around, make a bunch of threats. Um, but again, really want to point out though the power of this G4 and H5. It's defensive as well as attacking. All right, let's see a bunch of goofing around. Are they gonna go to 50 moves? Let's see. Well, hey, it's within your right to play it out. I mean, all right, good game, guys. So it looks like next round in 5 minutes, and we have one perfect score. All right. Anyone knock out number one? It's probably gonna have to play. Actually, I won't make any guesses. All right. Oh, who'd Eric? Okay. Um, what happened? No. So there are a couple other games who were. Oh, the other game was a draw. Oh, wait, that was in. Never mind. It's a different section. Go. Okay. Oh, and I remember looking at, this was a game between Kieran and Rosie. Mm, yeah, I mean, White. Look, White, you're not going to lose here. All right. You should play out the position. Seen this now couple weeks in a row with different players, offering draws in really interesting positions. You can't be afraid. Even if you're not sure if you're going to win or you're not sure if you have a good position, just play on, learn from the game. Hate to see players take draws, but well, guess we're almost 2 hours in before my first real rant of the day. So I guess that's a good thing. Oh, I thought he dropped a piece. Okay. And Octavia, he's crafty. All right. So even end game, though it looks like White's about to go up. 7. Yeah, Black's gonna have to defend an end game. Worst end game down a pawn. All right. There's anyway. All right. Before things really start heating up, take the plunge here. Going to that pawn ending, just a couple things I wanted to point out. I think I don't know, Black might be winning anyway. You kind of see the players play a little bit aimlessly. I mean, Black does hit upon the plan of getting a pass pawn, distracting White with it, and then trying to pick up these. But I think A3 is a mistake, critically weakens this square, and now White doesn't have any good moves. So anyway. Yeah, it was really just that simple. Let's pretend. I don't know. Even if it was Black's turn and Black had to go for this, yeah, that's gotta be. Things could get weird. Maybe that's a draw. No, that's winning. Okay, so Black's winning anyway. But yeah, White found this study like. I guess I could have just taken that guy. This study like draw. Obviously not forced, but it was White's best chance, and they got a draw. Just heartbreaking. Okay, K12. Black's gonna have their hands full in this endgame. So seem to be doing their best. Okay, White's up here. Another interesting game over here. And so got a. All right, we'll come back to these end games. Yeah, Black should prevail. Okay, so we're set up for a good match. Someone's also in the clear lead with 3, and same in K3. Someone has 3. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I thought. Adu 711 has 3. He has to play Sam and Alyokin. So how many points does Heuristic Mind have? 2. Okay. Eric has 2. So Eric's in the hunt. Sasha Andrews in the hunt. Plato Schick's in the hunt. So who are they playing? Oh, of course. So these two guys are playing. All right, it's gonna be close. Oh, we have 5 games. Okay, so still plenty of time for people to move up. Even with just 2 points, you could still have a shot at it. All right. Oh, and then K6 is kind of like finishing up. Okay. Well, do we want to watch? I guess we do. Dude. All right. Kind of interesting. Thought Black was cruising here, but maybe not as easy as it seems. White has 2 passers. What's Black trying to do? Yeah, spectators point out a lot of good points. Time, always something to be considered. And they're trying to figure out how to stop the pawns. Yeah. I'll just put the notes on just in case players are watching, don't want to give away anything. Uh-huh. Yeah, so I heard a kid playing Black. It's only in first grade. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, I remember he played at one of our tournaments in Cold Spring, and everyone was like afraid of playing him because he was so good and he was so young.
Yeah, no, I remember him, and I saw him at nationals too. I don't know if he won, but he was 2-0, I think, when I saw him. Yeah, so I think what did Rook D7 was a mistake because he gets the fork. It's gonna pick up a pawn. But it's tough to, only be, I don't know, 6 years old or whatever, plus or minus, and then have to play a tough position, also have very little time is tough. But this definitely makes the tasks a lot easier for Black. Only have 1 pawn to worry about, and yeah, should be fine. Oh, I didn't really consider the pin. Should have. Hmm. See if Black can find a solution to the pin. No, I'm having a great time, guys, looking at the games. Fascinating stuff. And as you can see, there's so much I don't know. Saw me goofing around with that end game earlier. I might have to just put that in the engine, but we'll see. It's really amazing. Yeah, good solution, Black. I was like, well, he could just check and then protect the rook, and he still can stop the pawn. So very good solution, especially when it was found with only a couple minutes left. Oh, this kid's for real. Um, I don't even remember what I was talking about. I guess it wasn't that important. And does white have any chance? Well, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna say black's pretty comfortable here. So this was K6. Wow, so he's only in first grade and he wanted to play K6. All right. And these games were just starting. All right, these are still kind of like in the middle game. So K12 had a lot of end game situations. Oh man.
This is a crazy game. I've been looking at this game for a while.
Oh, I should have told me. Okay. I think I have my opinion. Let's see what the spectators think. Oh, no, no one said anything. So I think white's got this one. Even if you can't calculate it out to a clear win, just the fact that, well, now it's guaranteed. White's gonna queen first and be able to make threats against the black king. Yeah, I do think, at least from what I saw, H2 was the better choice to get the queen over there. If you get the queen on G1, then there's more chances of like skewers on the G file, something like that. Well, don't quite get that at all. You know, why not force white to at least spend a tempo to go here? But okay. Oh, jeez, I'm a fool. Never mind. Yeah, H2 was a great decision. Well, I mean, all right, these players are strong. They obviously see. If white takes, this comes with check. That was, of course, the idea. Duh. So, good idea. I'm sitting over here saying crazy stuff. Well, at least I corrected that. So, yes. Now, it might not be enough because, I mean, I don't know. Maybe white has to decide. Do I take the rook and, let black have a moment to breathe here, while I'm getting out of check, but then I'm just, up a rook at the same time, though there's still the pawn. Or do I not take it and risk, my own king getting attacked? So yeah, he didn't take it. I mean, it's pretty expected. But still, now actually the great thing, now the queen actually protects the rook. So that's like even better. But let's see. And my guess is Kartavia didn't calculate it out to like a win. That is be kind of hard to do that here. But he just thought, I can't lose. At worst, it'll just be like a draw. I'll just check black all over the place, and maybe I can win. It often helps if you have like a backup like that. Like go for something risky, and as long as you have at least a way to make a draw, it's worth it. You're not going to lose, and you might win. All right, so black's deciding, do I stay on the 7th or do I go up? It's not easy to calculate either possibility. I see. What do you guys say? No one said anything yet. Yeah, I think nobody's really sure. Yeah, queen e5. All right, he definitely doesn't want to stay on the G file because then taking the pawn would come with check. Yeah. You think chess is easy? Should come look at, games like this. Man, Kartavi's so strong. Out of all the checks, of course he's gonna pick the best one. Oh, he chose that way. Oh yeah, I thought he'd go queen h8, but duh. But I was like, oh, well, he could do that too. Very pretty. All right, what a game.
Wow, Kartavia pulled one out.
Yeah, I don't know if black had a defense. So this loses by force. I mean, maybe, I don't even know, man. Like maybe king f6, but then so okay. I know I was like saying, don't use engines, blah blah blah, and I still stand by that. I mean, if we had time, you should analyze all the. This looks losing. You should analyze it out, but um I'm sure I missed an easier win somewhere. But this looks like it's GG. Well, okay. See, look, I'm not using the computer, using my brain. And I just want to see, how hard is it to find, even if there is a saving move, let's see if we can find it. Let's see if it was actually even possible to really find. So king h6. All right, this fails, this fails. I mean, so I think you got to keep putting them in check. I mean, yeah, maybe king h7. So king h7, you keep them off the h file. What were the choices? Can't go there. And I was saying probably don't go on the G file because then you lose your pawn. Yeah, I gotta believe that. I'm gonna say king h7 is the best move. White might still be winning though. All right. Yeah, white's still winning. Actually, it says king g8 is the best move. Yeah, queen f5. Oh, but look. It doesn't like a check. It wants you to go here. I mean, I don't know. Kartavia could probably find that move. The rest of us, I don't know. I was assuming white had to keep checks. But actually, if you check, look, all you can really do is do the same position. So that's interesting. So it's easy to just put this in the computer and be like, oh yeah, white's winning. Simple. But that's not the case. Like, come on, how many of you guys would play that? So really cool endgame. Now we have like a study over here. He releases the king from its mortal coils. Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny. I think if he'd played H7, that would have been like a forced stalemate. So he didn't fall for that. All right, anyway. Interesting finish. Oof, Kiran locked in another battle. Oh. Yeah, it's a good game. All right. Okay, set up between our first grade Wonderkin and then this guy. I don't know who this is, sorry. This guy. And then you have yeah, a few other players. Oh, our buddies from that pawn ending are just behind them. All right, White was able to pull that one out. Tough game. Right, the game's over. Yeah. Oh, this is all right. Good to see Eric right up there. Oh, well, two Eric. So I was talking about this Eric, Spinocchio, but also Eric. Okay, so if Eric wins, he would be in pretty good shape. Oh, good. Things simplified. I didn't have to analyze that end game anymore. But of course, being crazy, I'm just going to go back and look. No, I can't do this right now. He should have gone for this guy. Oh, maybe did Black Missile win? No. Oh, maybe there's like a, actually, if he goes here, it could be like a breakthrough idea. Just push this guy and then something like that. Oh, look at you guys. Now you make me analyze. So king f3, no, c5. Actually, yeah, I think the breakthrough idea works. So he had to take, and it was just too slow. Good here. Nah. Okay. Wow, okay. So I guess Eric's set up for a battle. See if he can take down this guy. And then, oh, these guys right behind him. So actually, if there's a winner of this game, they'd also be right behind. They'd be tied for second. Okay, White's up a pawn. Well, at least White knows can't lose the game, right? Try to win. And actually, the bishop is kind of restricted behind the pawn, so that could be a problem for Black. All right, let's see. Big game. If White can pull this out, they'll be in great shape to compete for first. A lot of time left, so we might just put this one on hold. Go back to, okay, so that was, what section was that? K3, okay. So then, all right, K1, or sorry, K12. Okay. Got a big matchup for first. Well, I mean, the tournament still has a couple more rounds, so we don't know yet. And then got Kieran locked in battle here. All right, we might come back. K12. Let's go on K6. All right, these guys just started. That's right. Big matchup here. Who are these guys? So then, okay. All right. So these two players that got 2.5, they played each other. That's how they got the half point. So they are then playing people with 2. Okay. Cool. So let's go back to, right, this was the long end game. Let's go back to Kieran. They're the last game left. And we'll keep an eye on this one from K3. And then we'll go to some big matchups in K6. All right, so impressions here. So black's up the exchange, meaning a rook for the bishop. But the king is a little bit exposed. That's what gives white some chances. So actually calculating it out. I don't know. Looks like black has threats. Let's see if white can find a way to try to figure a way out. Yeah, I mean, if black can get their king out of danger, black should have a pretty easy win. The outside pass pawn here. Check back in with this end game. All right. Yeah, I mean, white's moving forward. Still a little bit slow moving. All right. What's going to happen? Yeah, I think you had to do that or something similar to not lose a piece. Now it's black's turn. All right, yeah, gotta trade rooks there. Neutralize some of white's pressure. White can maybe hope for tricks, but I think black should be okay. So since they're low on time, the game will probably be over soon. Then we'll check back in over here. White's putting the squeeze on black. Yeah. I mean, what can you say? It's hard position. If only he had this or something. So hard fought game. Job, guys. Good job. All right. So now moving to the this is a K3 section. Again, if white is able to win, They'll be tied for second, which would be huge. And then we'll move over to K6. Some big matchups there as well. All right. Okay, so keep that game going. All right. K6. Okay, so this is the big one. Got our first grader as black. And then, sorry, I don't know who this is as white, but I guess you're pretty strong. Both players, they're in clear first, right? Yeah, perfect score, tie for first. There is another round after this, so it's not like it's over as soon as somebody wins, but this will be critical. Just want to see the opening. Yeah, it was like definitely some kind of Italian gambit or Greco, something like that. You forget what you're supposed to do. Okay, this looks fine. Yeah, maybe knight d5 looks a little suspect. Maybe just like develop. Yeah, looks like black's under some pressure. You know, the fact is king's still in the center for the moment. There's an open files leading to your king in the middle, so that's always a cause for concern. Yeah, rook d1 looks okay. Let's see. All right. I'll sit on this one. Oh, back to our end game. Oh, we could have a Zugzwang situation. Wow, I mean, look at this, guys. This bishop's completely dominated. That's it. It's also why you put your pawns on the same color square as your opponent's bishop, because it totally restricts it. Yeah, and I think white's about to knock it out here. Hmm. So the oh, okay. They decide, yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to give that up eventually. Basically, black's gonna run out of moves. You know, they can push these pawns, but you know, they can always go there, something like that. So eventually, you know, they could just move the king, but then you lose the pawn, and that's just game over, or even king a6. So they decide to do this. Okay, yeah, you gotta take, otherwise the bishop's gonna run. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it really changes things that much. Pretty easy win for white. Good game, guys. Knight f3. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I was really thinking, man, does white have something here? I don't know. Really wanted to, no, wanted to make something work. Thought maybe. Ooh, you know, it'd be kind of fun. This could be interesting. Queen h4, move. h6, queen h5, bishop takes, queen takes. Nah, I mean the 97. Get those arrows out. Actually, it might work. I'm gonna take a look at this. Because I mean, White's gotta have, I don't know. I just feel like White's gotta have something. My intuition could be wrong, but I just feel like there was something there. Yeah. So okay, I just wanna, well, okay. Yeah, we got to go back to that position. But here's what happens in the game. Yeah, and that's the thing. If you miss your shot, often your opponent takes over the initiative. This is much better for black. Beautiful open diagonals for the bishops. It's 2 bishops against bishop and knight. So black has an advantage known as the 2 bishops. And yeah, I think black is the better game. All right, we got to keep an eye on that. Okay. Yeah, that was the big one. Oh, this person too. Oh no, they won. That's given to them. Yeah, so if black can win this one, they'll also be, I think, tied for second at least. White's got some pretty good looking knights here. How'd that happen? So I think positionally, White's in great shape. Yeah, okay. All right, enough of that. All right, the end game. Right. Okay. And then these guys had just started. All right. All theory. I play this as black. Scotch Gambit, black takes on e4. Again, this is all by the book, as they say. They're just following opening theory, what people say are the best moves in this opening. So no one, I assume, has had to really think yet. Pretty sharp position. Sometimes it can peter out into a draw. But knowing Kartavia, it's not going to happen. So I think it's about equal here. Played this a lot as black. Was pretty happy with it. All right. Just gonna put a board up real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I'll show you guys what I'm doing. So I just put a board up for that opening that we saw in K6. So I feel like white has something here. So here's an example. You know, I'm just gonna put the engine on this just to see if my variation was correct. Yeah. What? Yeah, engine lights here. I want to see if my idea. Actually, so that's kind of interesting. All right, so now it's a blunder. Yeah, so I looked at this and I thought maybe white had something, but I guess not. So, okay, maybe there was no knockout. White should just kind of settle for, yeah, just kind of a little advantage in development here. Well, now I'm just blindly following the engine. Okay, so it says like this is equal, but like, come on, like, no one's gonna want to play this as black. I don't even know. Remember, what's it called? Black's up a piece, so it's not like they're losing. I don't know. This seems to be pretty good for white. Maybe the best white can hope for. All right. Anyway, so maybe black was always okay in that variation. Oh, H4. Wow, okay. Pretty gutsy move. I don't know. Feel it coming, right? Feel like black's just gonna come at you. All right. So going back to this one, this was our top game in K6. I said I think black did pretty well for themselves, and yeah, black still has that pull. So put this guy over here. Let's go back. Think, oh yeah, K3, they hadn't really started. So K3, your next round's in about 3 minutes. Yeah, set up for a battle. We have someone in clear first, 2 people just behind him or her, and a few players with 3. Okay, and then here, this is our top board in K6, top board in K12. Keep an eye on those. So a lot of great games today. You know, we hit upon a lot of the themes we always hit upon, which is taking your time, the the torture of end games, especially pawn endings under time pressure. That's just the worst. Oh, and then that great game Sam had where he combined attack and defense with his G4 H5 move. So, you know, always from these tournaments, you know, if I see really instructive games, I like to download them, use them in my own lessons. So it's great. So we'll sit on this game for a bit. Looks like very sharp position, meaning that, you know, the position is often changing with each move. You have to, you know, calculate not long variations, just short variations. Make sure you're not dropping a piece or something or getting mated. So I think black's better. Yeah, they're still up that pawn, but the battle's really just kind of beginning. All right, so we'll stay on a few more minutes, check out this game, see if there's big developments, and then yeah. All right. Combative move. And then you can just kind of see the storm clouds gathering over White's king. But maybe White can work the clock a bit. By the way, Alana, if you're there, do you know what the 56 spectators, like, are those actually people watching the game, or
Yeah,
what is that?
those are actually people watching the game.
Why isn't it saying his name though, or their
Oh,
names?
oh, if there's too many, then it just says how many spectators there are.
Who are these people?
Probably followers of Cartavia.
Really? I thought it always showed some of the names.
No, it's only if it's like up to like 20 something. But if there's like more than a certain amount, they just write spectators.
Oh, dang. Cardavi's popular. All right, so if he takes, the idea is to go rook f4, gets your piece back, and retains control of the light squares. Rook g8.
Yeah, Cartavia has over like 300 followers.
Dang. All right, you guys keeping up? Like I said, it's a sharp position. I mean, these guys probably see more than me, so. But I don't know. Just look at all the threats. I mean, why is to keep an eye on their rook, their knight, f2 pawn. So even though White's up the exchange for the moment, look at everything Black gets for it. So maybe he played knight takes g8 too soon and didn't really appreciate all this play. Maybe queen d2 is better to help guard the bishop. I'm not sure. But we see another classic Cartavia squeeze. All right, again, a lot of things to calculate. Try to calculate and guess what you would do. Yeah, that was my guess. So he doesn't move the queen. He goes in for this instead.
I see Abby is in deep thought.
Yeah, gotta say, none of the options look great for white, really, regardless of what black does. All right, my guess. Well, never mind. All right, this is my first thought, but yeah, we won't talk about that. I'm guessing he's gonna go here or trade. Let's see. No, okay. Actually, a little surprised by that. So obviously, rook f8, knight d6. Spent a little too much time calculating knight g5 instead. That's embarrassing. But rook d7 seems a little strange to me. I guess it's okay. Honestly, I thought you might just take the knight and then just take the c pawn and call it a day. I mean, this knight's totally out of play over here. Actually, that was the best move, to be honest. But, see, can he prove me? I don't know. Maybe he's just thinking, well, this knight's also kind of out of play. Yeah, like that's knight g5. I don't know. I guess it's kind of the same thing. But then it's like you might have the back right to at least think about. So I don't know. That yeah, why not just trade and be done with it? Why? All right, shaping up to be a good one over here in K6 as well. These guys are just getting started. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Katavi's playing a little bit of fire here. Could be wrong. Maybe he's figured it all out, but I don't like take any chances. Yeah, I guess White was, concerned about this. I mean, I was calculating rook here, and then if g3, you can always come down and check. Or even just, no, I guess that wouldn't. No, that should be okay too. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like wouldn't just been easier to trade and then get the queen on c2? Seems to be an easier position to play than this, or at least White could maybe do something. All right, so I'm going to stand by and yeah, in this position, why not just trade, take this and be done? Okay. Oops, sorry. Why did it send it back? Oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean, clearly black is a big advantage materially and also positionally, this guy's out of play. Yeah, so he just goes for this. I mean, it should be pretty easy, but it make things a little complicated. I mean, the piece, not really a big deal. It's going to get it back one way or another. Well, simply because the pawns are too strong. Actually, this might be the end. Yeah, I think he had to just go king f2 here. Oh no, king f2 with b1. Oh, maybe it was already all over. All right, guys, try to calculate the win for black. Not too hard. Yeah. Yeah, g3 is a nice touch. So yeah, they gotta give up the rook. I mean, they still did have the extra piece. Remember looking at this. Did black have something? All right, nothing fancy. He's just gonna, yeah, clean up over here. Yeah, win shouldn't be too hard. All right, cool. Good games. Let's check in. All right, we're set up for another good one over here. Probably black's gonna prevail. By these guys. Check in real quick. All right, looks like these guys are just kind of getting started. So a lot of really close games, good matchups. Definitely had a great time looking at the games today. So I'm gonna sign off here. Lana, did you want to say anything before we go?
Just really good games. Definitely have a lot to look at. Just like what Abby said, this is really great material for us to look at as well. So we're always learning new things from your games as well. So study those end games. I know Abby went on a rant about end games today.
Always.
So yeah, hopefully we'll see some of you in our next tournament that we run and in our after school classes that we're running online. So yeah.
Yeah.
Excited for those, and we'll see you all next time.